Talking eBay, late night spree. Everything I never knew I need. Talking eBay, just one more click. My bank account says you're making me sick.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Talking eBay. I appreciate everyone tuning in to this wonderful episode. This is another awesome day. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's hanging in there in your eBay journey. So I'm trying to get a little bit more regular with these podcasts to help motivate you and keep you excited about the journey. And just we're going to go over some of the BOLOs. We're going to go over some of the what's happening with eBay. I'm sure if you haven't heard the news, the big news is that GameStop is trying to buy eBay. Now, that is pretty crazy. It's $55.5 billion bid to buy eBay. It's a mix of cash and stock, roughly $125 per share. I mean, I guess GameStop has a lot of cash and a lot of money. GameStop is pretty huge. They hold 5%. They want to hold, which holds a 5% stake in eBay. Seeks to create a massive marketplace competitor. So what does that mean for you? People are concerned about that. I don't know if you heard about that in the news. And, there's a lot of chatter going on in the eBay boards, in the eBay world. And I think what's going on is that if this does happen, things are going to change. Of course, things always change, right? This could take a long time. I'm not sure if they need regulatory approval. I'm not sure how this works with something like this. I don't know if this is a private equity. I'm not really sure how this works, honestly. But it's trying to say that the marketplace, they're proposing to use its 1,600 stores as a fulfillment hub. They're trying to compete against Amazon. Now, Amazon is having some issues of their own. They're not doing as well as they used to. There's more competition in the marketplace. People are getting used to buying online more so with Target and Best Buy, and Walmart is the biggest competition. Walmart and definitely Target are the two biggest competitions for Amazon. A lot of people don't like Amazon. I don't know how you feel about Amazon, but I mean, a lot of people don't like the way they do things and, and how they run. Especially if you're a seller on Amazon, they're not really fair to their sellers. Where more like eBay is definitely more helpful with comes eBay. I've had some issues in the last few weeks and I've had some things resolved. I don't know if you're beginning. We'll go over a few different things with this podcast, so stay tuned. We'll go over things at a time. One thing at a time. So this is just like this is big news. I'm pretty excited about it because I think it's time for a change, eBay. I really do. I mean, it's great to do this. I don't think they should change the seller model for us, us sellers. But if you want to create like a hub or you want to create let's say 1,600 stores, a fulfillment hub, or maybe people can meet to pick up something. You can meet them at this local store and they could do the transaction right there so you can feel safe. I mean, there's a lot of ways to spin this to make it, really, really good for the buyers and the sellers. So that's just something I was thinking that it might be an interesting option for them to do. They're not going to listen to me. What do I know? I mean, I'm not running their business, but think about that. Or they might turn their stores into fulfillments like an FBA, like fulfillment by Amazon. So your eBay seller can take your items and send it to them. Of course, there are fees. Of course, there's all different options. There's always fees when nothing is for free. They're not going to do this for their, for fun of it. It's all about money. It's all about dollars and cents. And they're going to spend $55 billion. Believe me, they're going to want to recoup some of that money back, and they're going to want to make a profit. This is not for fun. This is real business and real money. So, but it's interesting to think they have that leverage. I didn't realize they had 1,600 stores. That's pretty wild. And they want to make them fulfillment hubs. That's pretty cool. I mean, think about it. You can send your items, mostly new. I'm not sure about used. I don't know how that's going to work. You're going to send some old crappy car parts there and they're going to, I don't know. I don't know if something's dirty. I'm not sure how it's going to work. Amazon doesn't do that. They mainly do new things. eBay is really more of a used platform, but maybe they're going to switch it. I don't really know. Or maybe they will take your old stuff. Maybe it has to be bagged and tagged and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It might be really, really cool, especially if you have space limitations and you don't want to deal with shipping. You don't want to deal with returns, right? You don't want to deal with all that stuff. So this is an easy way to transition into doing that. You don't have to worry. You just basically ship a bunch of stuff to a local warehouse or whatever it is, and they take care of the distribution for you. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, you're going to pay for that. It's not going to be free, but it might compete on. It might be a good thing against Amazon because I think competition is healthy. I really do. Now, I'm sure you heard in the news that unfortunately Spirit went belly up, and everybody was blaming because of the gas prices. But you know what? They filed bankruptcy a couple of times in the last administration, 2 times, and they tried to merge with JetBlue, and they wouldn't let them do it. So I don't know whose fault it is. It's a shame that they ended up just closing just like that. I think they could have been saved. A couple of years ago, they could have been saved, and they weren't. And this time, they just couldn't do it fast enough because of the situation. So unfortunately, that's what happens. But this is what happens, right? I mean, businesses come and go. Nothing is forever, and including this. So you never know. eBay could be gone tomorrow. So maybe don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's very important. And if you don't know this, and you should know this, if you're an eBay seller, you need to look at other platforms to sell on. You need to sell on WhatsApp, Depop. eBay owns Depop. I'm not sure if you know that. So eBay owns Depop. So I'm not sure if this deal includes, Depop with eBay. I'm not sure if they're combining everything together. It's not clear all the details about that, but that'll be interesting too. Depop doesn't charge fees for selling, at least right now, until they get everybody comfortable with the system, and then they start charging. That's just the way it goes. But that's okay. If you're making money, it's okay to spend money. If that's the idea. People say, oh, I have to pay too much in my taxes. If you're paying a lot of taxes, you're making a lot of money, all right? That's just the way it is. I don't care what anybody says. So that's just how that goes. So I think it's a good move. I think it could be very interesting for the platforms, but don't put all your eggs in one basket, including eBay. Make sure you do Facebook. Make sure you do whatnot. Make sure you can do Depop. If you do Mercari, if you do clothing, and do eBay. So that's 5 things. If you sell on Amazon, there's another thing. So, and there's also a lot of software out there, and they're basically called cross-platform software listers. Now, if you're not familiar with this, if you're newer to this type of business, you basically pay. Again, you have to pay this one company, and then basically they'll put everything into. You'll connect all your stores. Let's say you're on Facebook and you're on whatnot and whatever. And then you make one listing on eBay, and boom, 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 boom. They go to all these platforms automatically. So now that one listing becomes 6 listings. If you have 1,000 items, it becomes 6,000 items. You can see how that kind of really extrapolates quickly across multiple platforms. So what's good about this software is that if something sells, it'll all go back to the other stores, all the places that you have listings, and delete those listings or cancel or close those listings. That way you're not double and triple selling if you only have one item. So that's how that works. So that's really a good thing too. So let's keep your eyes open for that. If you're expanding and you're growing and you think things are kind of slow, maybe you need to build multiple platforms, make sure you have the right products for that. Make sure it works within your business plan, and make sure it's budgeted correctly so you can make a profit. Remember, that's all about everyone's looking to make money, including you and GameStop and eBay, and everyone's looking to make a profit, right? But how you conduct your business really makes the difference. So just take your time. Don't rush if you're not there yet. But I don't do that. I don't do multi-platform because I don't want to do that personally. I don't want to have 5, 6. That to me, I have a lot of other things going on. I do manual listings on Facebook. I do Facebook Marketplace. I do really well with that. I do the yard sales. I pick up my stuff. I do my things. I do eBay, and that's all. So that's really cool. So that's the news with eBay as far as what's happening with that. I thought that was really interesting. So hope you're doing good. I hope you're listing. Spring is here. It's definitely getting warmer everywhere. There's things everywhere. There's a lot of community yard sales going on right now. So get out there and go to those community yard sales and make your best deal. Now, my strategy for that, as I'll tell you my strategy for that is kind of go at the end of the day. So yes, you might miss some of the really best things possibly, but also not everybody knows everything. And if you listen to my podcast in the past, I always say that. Not everybody can know everything, and not everybody's an expert on everything. It's impossible. Things are always there. So the idea behind going last minute is getting better deals, and also getting, and bundling, and then you can get some great bargains. You can bundle a bunch of stuff together. books and clothing, and you could pay 15 cents on a dollar, 10 cents a quarter on a dollar, whatever it is. Having things a little bit more money today, but you can really make some really good deals. A person who's asking, let's say, $20 for something that's kind of like a collectible, they might take $5. They don't want to take it back. They don't want to throw it away. So there's a lot more buying power. So the idea, and you remember this, guys, this is really important, okay? You make your money on the buy. Always make your money on the buy. If you're not buying it correctly, you're losing money. That's right. You want to make sure you get the money. You don't want to lose any money, because if you lose money, it's not a good feeling. It's just not. It's just, you get that kind of little sick stomach when you sell something undervalued. It's like, oh, I paid too much money, and then it's just not a good thing at all. You don't want that to happen. You just don't want that to happen. You want to be successful. You want to, sell something, make some profit, and say, yeah, I did it. It's like, yeah, you want to have that excitement. You want to be really cool about that and say, look, I bought this for $5 and I sold it for $30 and I made a really good profit. And that gets you excited and motivated to keep going out and doing again. We call that rinse and repeat. Okay, remember that? Rinse and repeat means basically do the same thing over and over. Every week you find a new deal, a new bargain, a new bundle, and keep selling it and keep doing it, because you just never know what you're going to find. I'll give you, for instance, today I was out and I found some old VHS tapes. Yes, you tell me VHS tapes don't sell, but I'm telling you they do. Now, these weren't very, very specific collectible VHS tapes. They really weren't old horror movies, which horror does really well. I'm going to give you a really big secret, so listen very carefully. Okay, it doesn't have to be very expensive. These are all used and opened. A lot of VHS tapes should be sealed, vintage. Collectible ones have to be in really good condition. And horror is the top one. Okay, horror is top. But these, I'm going to give you a little hint. These are kid videos. The old Barney videos. The old Sesame Street videos, all those learning people still want those tapes. I'm just shocked, because I got them for free, because people just throwing them away, and I got about 30 of them. I'm saying, let me just take a quick look. I'm probably just going to dump these, but just in case, let me check. So I just scanned it. Scanned it with I have a little scanner, and I recommend you get like a little scanner. They're like $10, very cheap. And I scanned the barcode because eBay's really caught up with that. You can pretty much all the barcodes are on eBay. Years ago they were not. Yeah, to type them in, that was a pain on the butt. I wouldn't do that, but now you can just scan, and it comes up like $20 or $15. I'm saying, nah, that can't be right. And I'm seeing 15. They keep selling 15, 18, 16, 12, and they're selling. I said, all right, cool. I put it on for 10 plus shipping, which is 15, $16. That's how I do it. I always charge shipping. You can charge free shipping if you want to. It's up to you. And I ship everything media mail, because videotapes are media mail. And then I had some other ones, Blue's Clues, right? You remember Blue's Clues when you were younger, Blue's Clues? 2 of those tapes on for $20, $10 a piece. I mean, this is free stuff. And another one I just sold was Einstein's, whatever, like something like that. 3 of those Einstein's, again, all used, $25. I listed it today. It sold in 3 hours. My wife says, you listed it too cheap. I said, no, I didn't. I listed it just right, because it's sold. I'm not looking I'm not looking to house this stuff. I said, we're not a warehouse. We need to get this stuff, get it listed, and get it sold. I mean, I did the research. I looked at the comps. They sell for about $10 a piece, $8 a piece. Some were 6, some were 8, and some were 15. I bundled them together. It's at $25 plus $7 shipping. I'm happy with that. It's free. Hello. And media does sell. I sell VHS tapes all the time. I sell music all the time. I even sold an 8-track tape a couple weeks ago. I mean, things do sell. So don't be afraid. Don't pass up the kid videos. Now, I'm not talking about the Disney ones. Don't buy the Disney ones, all that stuff. There's no value in any of that stuff, honestly. It's really the learning tapes. Anything with learning in music and things like that, that's what sells. People really, really like that stuff. And they must have the machines to play them, because I listed it today and boom, it was sold. So that's just a quick bolo that I have for you. So keep your eyes open on those kind of VHS tape. People will give them to you. They'll go on Facebook Marketplace. They'll give them to you. They don't want them. They're throwing them in the trash. So there's trash is your cash, right? And I've been doing this for a long time, and this is cyclical. So maybe a few years ago, they really weren't worth a lot. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, they had no value. Now they're turning around. So what's going on is that you have to understand what's happening. If you're a child, if you were a child and 15, 20 years ago you were a child, and now you're an adult with a child. Oh, I wish I had those old VHS tapes I used to listen to and I really loved. And they look for them online for themselves and their new child. So this is what's happening. So a child that listened to, so that's just basically, that's like pulp culture, right? Pulp culture. I want that toy when I was young. I want that. Well, this is that kind of like idea. It's like a pulp culture kind of thing. I want the Barney tapes. I want the Teletubby tapes, Teletubby back in the day, all that kind of stuff. Not cartoons, okay? We need to talk about, we're talking about education, learning, music, keeps the kid entertained. It's clean, good, quality music, fun, educational. You know what I'm trying to say. So you got that, right? So that's something you should be on the lookout for. Definitely, it's really, I think it's probably one of the best tips I'm going to give you tonight is look out for those tapes. There's a lot of money in those kind of tapes. Yes, thank you. I think that's awesome, guys. Awesome. All right, so let's shut that off. So hope everyone's doing well. So get out there, get motivated. It's springtime, summertime is coming. It is time to get out there and do your sourcing. It is time. So let's go over. So that's the news with eBay. I mean, let me know what you think. You send me some comments about that. That's talkingebay23@gmail.com. Again, that's talkingebay23@gmail.com. Also, check out my YouTube channel, Talking eBay on YouTube. Check that out. There's all these podcasts are on there, as well as all the old ones. You can check them out there. Also on Spotify and all the other places that you can find your podcast on. And that's what we do. So everything is doing well. I've been really, rocking and rolling, selling all kinds of cool stuff and selling stuff on Facebook. Now, do you sell stuff on Facebook? Do you do that yourself? Are you afraid of that? I wouldn't be afraid. Meet somebody in a public place, maybe at a police station, a fire station, or even a grocery store area or whatever. A lot of people around. If you're nervous, definitely do that. And I've been selling on Facebook Marketplace for maybe 15, 18 years, maybe almost 20 years now. And I got stood up last week. This never happens to me. I'm usually very, very careful and very, very specific in my messaging because it's all about the messaging. And it was a bicycle. So someone was interested if I had some bicycle. Again, this was a free bike. Somebody was thrown away, picked up the bike. I put some air in the tires. It held the tires well. Put a little bit of oil and it works fine. I had it on for $75. Now, $75 is a great deal. I put it on for $75. I'll negotiate a little bit. Someone wants to pay me $50, $60. I'll work with that. So person emailed me, messaged me on Facebook and said, "Oh, I love the bike. When can I get it?" So let me know what's good for you. That's what I always say. I never hear back. And then a couple of days later, I can come by this day, can come by that day. I was like, okay, let's come up with a schedule. I come up with a schedule. And then we had a time and a date and didn't negotiate in the price. So as far as I'm concerned, it's $75. That's how that kind of works out. So a few days later goes by. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't make it. So this is a good sign when they communicate with you right away. Communication is key. People say to you, oh, they send you one text and never come back, or send you one text and never do, and it's very sparse, and they're just, it's just, you can just tell when someone's serious or when someone says, listen, I want this today. Can you come at 4:00? I want it now. This person was like that. I said, okay, cool. Then they said, okay, well, can we reschedule for Saturday? I said, absolutely. Let me know what's best for you, because I'm pretty flexible. They called, messaged me again. Yeah, can we do 12:15? I said, sure, 12:15 works perfectly in the afternoon. Perfect. Said, let me know when you're on your way. And I didn't hear anything. I said, okay, so let me check. I texted her in the morning. I said, are we still on for today at 12:15? Yes, 12:15. I say, perfect. I'll see you there. Okay, perfect. Now, usually I'll always say to them, and this is probably partially my fault, and maybe not, but I said, okay, I usually always say to them, let me know when you leave. Let me know your ETA, so I know they're really coming, right? And then so I didn't say that. I don't know why, because she said, oh yeah, I'll be there. So I figured it was like 11 o'clock, so 12:15. I don't want to keep aggravating them. Let me know when you're coming. Let me know what you're doing. I don't want to do that. So okay. So I get there at 12:15. 20 past 12 comes by, no one's there. And this has never happened to me. This is the first time, and this will be the last time I learned a really good lesson. And so I text them again and said, oh, what's your ETA? I won't be there till 1 o'clock, 1:30. I said, no, we're supposed to meet at 12:15. Yeah, well, things came up. Sorry, I can't make it. I said, unfortunately, I can't be there. Unfortunately, I can't make that. It's not going to work for me. Fine, keep the bike. I don't need it. So this person really didn't want the bike. They just either fooling around or jerking me around, whatever you want to call it. I just went to the thing, hit block, bye-bye. I don't fool around with that. I come back home, put the bike away, whatever. I don't care. It happened to me one time. That'll never happen again because I'm going to be a lot more careful and say, let me know when you're there, because I'm literally 5 minutes away from this location that we pick up where I meet people. So even if they're there, I can say I'll be right there in 5 minutes. So I think I was just kind of off that day a little bit. Usually I'm very, very good at that. And I don't like when they do that. Like, and they had like an attitude like it's my fault. Well, you said 12:15. I'm there. I even waited to 12:30 before I even text them again. So when you coming? Oh, can't get there till 1:30. So that's not going to work for me because I have another commitment. Well, that's okay. You can just keep the bike. I said, all right, block, goodbye. And that's okay. And you know what? And you can't get mad about that, and you can't get frustrated about that. That's part of doing business. That's how it goes. And that's just part of the whole thing. So, not to be frustrated. Don't get upset about that. If you sell on Facebook, and so my suggestion to you is to, like I was telling you, ask them what time they're coming, what's your ETA, let them tell you, okay, I just left now. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Now you know your timeline. Or I just left, I have some traffic. So the communication is important. When they're telling you they're going to be there a certain time, you know they're coming. When there's no communication, or if there's a blackout, nothing's happening, this is not going to work out. It's a dead deal. It's not going to work out. And that's fine. This bike will sell as summer gets closer, because to buy a brand new bike today is probably like $400, $300 for a kid's. This is a good bike. $75, $50. I mean, come on. It's clean. It works well. Whatever. That's fine. That doesn't matter. But that's just a lesson that I learned that I want to just pass on to you. That sometimes things happen and we can't take it personally because you're in business. You're an entrepreneur. You can't get mad at this stuff. You know what I mean? I just blocked them, moved on. That way I don't have to deal with that again. And that's kind of like the bottom line with that, because people can't get under your skin. It's just business. Someone buys something from you on eBay and they want to return it. Don't get mad. That's business. You have to do that. This is commerce today. Not like it was years ago when I first started. It was like, oh, well, sorry, final sale. Oh, if you give me a negative, I'll give you a negative. And that was how the game was played 25 to 30 years ago. We all did that. So nobody was giving anybody feedback because everybody was worried about getting negative feedback and negative comments. And it's really just black and white. You can't give someone a negative anymore. It's just much more, the sellers are much more protected now. The buyers really have to be very careful. The sellers have to be very careful. The buyers are protected, things like that. So it's definitely has changed over the years. I could tell you a lot of stories. I was selling a lot of stuff years and years ago. I'm talking about Pokemon, talking about Beanie Babies. I'm talking about antiques and collectibles a long time ago. And we had no photos online. There was no photos you could do on eBay. We used to message on AOL Messenger to generate business and communicate. It was like really weird. We used to have certain tools to list. We had a tool back in the day called Mr. Lister. If anybody on this remembers that back in the day, that's in the 90s. And what that would do is allow you to do a bulk listing. A lot of times eBay would run a special. Oh, this day only. It's like usually they're like a holiday right before Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. They give you 1 day, 24 hours, free listings. Because back in the day, they used to charge you every single listing. They didn't have the stores back then. It was just the auctions. And then they buy it now. It wasn't there. They were all auctions. So you have this tool called Mr. Lister. And you would go offline. You basically have a program. And you would load all your listings on and get everything all ready to go. And then you would list them up in bulk. That's what we used to do back in the day. And even before photos, there was no photos back in the day. Like, how do you even know what you're going to get? It was crazy. We used to get checks in the mail. And I'm sure you heard these stories, the old guys go pick up a check. But yeah, we used to go to the post office and pick up a bunch of checks, make sure they cleared, then ship the product. So there was a lot of trust back in the day. So we've been doing this a long time. And I think we've built up a lot of trust on eBay over the years. And it's hard to get good sellers. Now, has anybody looked at the eBay Live at all? There's a ton of eBay Live going on. They're pushing it on their platform. They're pushing it on their app. Every time I just logged into eBay just now, and boom, here comes it. They're selling, everyone's doing baseball cards, and everybody's doing Pokemon cards, and everyone's doing all these different things. It's just crazy. But I've been looking, even on the app. They'd come in, and they're constantly coming in, and it's just crazy with the eBay Live stuff. So it's just interesting that they're trying to pivot too. So it's very interesting, but they're a little behind in the game, but that's okay. That's okay. I think it's cool. Let me just give you a little bit of my feedback. So I have 19,622 feedback. That's my feedback, 19,622. I've been on eBay since 1999. Yes, a long time, and I am a 5-star, all that kind of stuff, for shipping and all that kind of stuff. And I have one negative because of one person had an issue, and it was not my fault. And unfortunately, they didn't like something, and they just didn't want to return it. I have a return policy. I'd pay for the return ship, nothing. They didn't want to talk to me. Just a negative. So it'll fall off very soon. It's been a year. So after a year, they do fall off. That's how that goes. And everything else is great. Got a couple of neutrals, but you know what? That's business. I can't get mad. Not everybody can be 100%. That's so hard to do. It's really, really difficult to be 100%. So that's okay. I'm okay with it because I know for 99.8% of my business is really, really good. And I've been doing this for almost 30 years. And that's pretty good. So I'm happy with that. No complaints to me. And let me just see now. So let's go over some of my BOLOs. Now, if you don't know what BOLOs mean, BOLO means be on the lookout for. That's what it means. Keep your eyes open for those BOLOs because that's where a lot of money is. And I'm going to teach you a little bit about those BOLOs. So let's get into the BOLOs right now. So I'm going to tell you what I've sold. So I'm just telling you a couple of those VHS tapes I listed. I listed the Sing and Dance with Barney. So look out for those Sing and Dance with Barney. Blues Clues, birthdays, and playtime, things like that's really cool. Alphabet Soup, William Wegman, VHS kids tapes. These are all kids tapes. Also Thomas the Tank, Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't know if you remember that Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas Christmas Wonderland. So there's two versions of this VHS tape. There's the black version and the blue version. Well, this was the blue version. $15 plus shipping. That's on. So that's pretty cool. So those was so 24, 34, 40, 50, almost $50 in those three listings right there on VHS tapes. Those are listed now, active, and they will sell. Eventually, they will sell because those are really popular. People really, really like those a lot. So that's what that is. So let me just go over some of my sold listings. That is the BOLOs. Let's see, paid and shipped. Let's go into my system here, go into the paid and shipped. And let me tell you a few of my things I've sold. So I was talking about old items. Old 35 millimeter cameras sell. Yes, film cameras sell. People love old film cameras. Just sold one the other day. A Minolta SRT 100 35 millimeter film camera. I picked this up in a lot online. A bunch of cameras. I sold that for $75 plus $17.50 shipping. And that was on for a long time. That's been on since 24, 23, right around there. It's been on for a few years. And it did sell the other day. Out the door it went, and they were very, very happy. And that was, I think I paid like $10 or $12 with the bulk listings. The other day, somebody gave me some free Dunkin' Donuts mini tote bags. I don't know if you ever saw those little mini tote bags they have with the, the sparklings, the little gemstones that go inside. Well, I didn't have the little case with the stones in it, but these were the little tiny bags. So most people will throw those away. I got $16.99 for those three little Dunkin' Donuts bags. So again, trash into cash. Another thing I sold, parts are really important. So Pro Extractor is it's a blades for a Ninja, right? So those Ninja Pro things, this is the blender. This is the cutting blade that goes on one of those cups that blend. I had one of those. I got for very little money. I got $17 for that. Some shoes. I sold some shoes for $35. Now, I had this old mover. It's called Mover Pink Wood. So it's Mover, Moover. It's a kid's little stroller made out of wood. Now, they're all wood construction. They're really nice, and they're expensive to buy. They're like $100 brand new. So I had this stroller that my daughter had and no longer needed. It needed a little bit of repair, a little glue, and I just fixed it a little bit, like a little piece was coming off. So I glued it all back together, put it all back together, and I sold that for $50 plus $35 shipping. That's really, really good. The box was big. That's why it was kind of expensive to ship, because the box is dimensional by the size. Still selling some of my yarn and also selling some Star Wars fabric. That's been selling. That's been doing really, really well. A couple of VHS tapes. Again, media sells. These are used tapes. Not VHS, DVDs. Used DVDs, $12.99. Another one was $10. That sold. So DVDs sell. Now here's a BOLO. Here's one that I want you to be on the lookout for. Bath and Body Works. Yes, they're still in business. You know that. Bath and Body Works still has stuff. But old fragrances, old shampoos, old stuff like that sells big time. And I'm telling you, big time. Here are some stuff that my wife had. She goes, oh, maybe, we've had these for many years and I don't really use it. And they were full. I want to sell them. Let's see what they're worth. So I looked them up online. I said, wow, these are really good. I can't believe it. So it's a set of two, Bath and Body Works. They're aromatherapy jasmine vanilla volumizing shampoo. That's what this is. So keep your eyes open for something like that. Jasmine Vanilla Volumizing Shampoo. A set of 2, $150 plus shipping. You heard me right. $150 plus shipping for 2 bottles of shampoo from Bath & Body Works. That is sick. So keep your eyes open for that kind of stuff, guys. That's what I'm talking about. So look in your closet. If you got some old Bath & Body Works stuff, look it up. Old perfumes. I do a killing with old perfumes. Even if it's half empty. I think eBay might have changed the policy, and I'm not sure if you can sell used anymore. I think you can still. I think you can. But if you can't, maybe they changed the eBay. I mean, eBay's always changing stuff. You never know. But I have in the past, and maybe the vintage ones are okay, but I've sold used perfumes. I have many, many, many times. But that's crazy. Also, espresso French press. ESPRO espresso, right? Espresso, not espresso, espresso. $40 for a used one plus shipping. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I had an old vintage light, old camera light I didn't want anymore. Sold that, got $15 for that. Some watches, KitchenAid, 12-cup coffee maker carafe. Now, those are people love this kind of stuff. Be on the lookout for that stuff. That stuff people just give it away at the yard sale. Give me $1. People, and it's used. This is not brand new, guys. This is used. It's a 12-cup coffee maker carafe, right? $25 plus shipping. This is all free money. Another thing I got for free the other day was the Brother drum unit, like the cartridge for your laser printer. Laser cartridge sealed. I picked one up sealed. I just got it. It was great. Just got it for free. $50 plus shipping. I mean, so some things I do pay for, but a lot of things I've been really sourcing for free because there's so much free stuff out there. It's ridiculous. Just stupid, stupid, stupid. Another thing I sold was a Garmin chest strap, the ones you go across your chest, a Garmin chest strap. And it goes with your watch and it measures your heart rate. So people who run got $25 plus shipping. Another thing I had this is my own personal stock that I had. It is called Blue Rush men's cologne spray, right? By Avon. This is Avon. Avon stuff usually is garbage, but this was not bad. I got $55 plus shipping for this Blue Rush. So look it up, Blue Rush for Men by Avon. Okay, so be on the lookout for old vintage perfume from Avon. That's a really good tip, guys. Just to keep your mind thinking. Okay, thinking. What else could I get? Sold a used. Now this was brand new. King Kong Original Studio Edit RKO Home Video VHS. This was sealed. I got 18 plus shipping, which is fine. And they are out there, so keep your eyes open. Another old Olympus camera, 35 millimeter. Again, old Olympus cameras. You can get these at yard sales all day and pay $10, $15, $20, even $25, even $50 if it's clean and in good shape. I sold this for $150 plus shipping. I would pay $50 all day to turn that to $150. That sold pretty quickly plus shipping. Clothing. We sold clothing for $25. We sold vintage pins for $10. I mean, just on and on and on. I just give you so many examples. And I don't know if I told you about the last podcast about this Electrolux vacuum. I think I did. If you listen to my old podcast, I sold this Electrolux Jubilee. I think I did mention this at the last podcast, model 1401. It's a canister vacuum. Okay, canister vacuum. Again, this was going to be thrown in the trash, which is so upsetting. I took it home, cleaned it up, ordered some new bags for it, shipped in a couple of days. Someone made me an offer. I took the offer, shipped it out to them, packed it really, really well because I know I'm very, very careful with my shipping. And then as soon as they got it, boom, they sent me a message. Oh, something's wrong with it. I want to return it. It doesn't work right. Needs a bearing. All this kind of stuff. They were going on and on and on. I said, no problem. What would you like to do? What are you looking for? See, if somebody wants to return something, they'll just open up a case. Not as described, something's wrong with it. Automatically, you have to take it back. It's not an issue. This item here, I knew she wanted some money off because she tried to lowball me with some offers. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. Then finally, she came back on the price I wanted. And I think she wanted some money back. Honestly, that's really what it was because she came up with some lame excuse. This was April 14th. Haven't heard a thing from since then. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's May. So we're coming on a month and not even a peep. So I'm sure she's happy, maybe, because I said to her, depends on, because everything you do through eBay, make sure your messaging is all through eBay, because everything is recorded there. So if you say that, what are you looking for? That insinuates that they want something, right? So you're kind of, not that you're trapping them, but you're trying to make it clear, what do you want? You can return it if you don't like it. Are you looking for something? What are you looking for? And then there was silence, radio silence, gone, nothing, haven't heard a peep. I'm sure it's worth it. You wouldn't keep a $300 vacuum if it was broken, would you? I wouldn't. I'd absolutely open up a case in 30 seconds. This thing is broken. I want my money back. Done. And it's over. You have to take it back. You have no option. You just have no option with eBay. Good or bad, if you don't like it, that's the way it is. If you don't like it, don't sell on the platform, basically. That's just the way this works. And I've taken things back, and people break things. They lie. They ship things back, pieces missing. They ship things back, different items. I mean, I've seen it all over the years, and it's just part of doing business. So those are some of the BOLOs. I found a cordless a caulking gun. It's a battery-powered one by Ryobi. I sold that for $32 plus shipping. It went for $50 roughly, so I just backed it out that way. And then we see what else I sold. I sold the Ben. I think I told you this last time. It was the sequel to the horror Ben. Was sequel to Willard. I don't know if you remember Willard. This was Ben, his cousin, I guess. I don't know, the Rat's cousin. I don't know. Sure, with the Michael Jackson song, whatever. I sold that for $50. So VHS media. So media sells, right? So this is the common theme here, right? VHS tapes, DVDs, CDs, cassettes, 8-tracks. Everything sells. All media sells. You just have to learn to get yourself educated, to learn. I told you this before. The secret to success is education, learning what you're doing, understanding the craft that you are understanding. I just got a message just now. I'm going to actually share this with you live right now. So I'm trying to sell my old Apple. I have an old Mac, iMac from years ago, and needs a hard drive. So I put it on, and I keep getting, I put it on for $200. This is an older one, but 27-inch iMac, i7. It's got the 5K Retina display, 32 gigs of RAM. This thing is awesome. This is a really nice computer. Well, I'm asking $200. It's a little not too high. You put a hard drive in it, it's worth about $350, $400. Really, in this condition, it's an excellent condition. One owner. I have the box. I have everything because I save all my stuff. I put it on for $200. I'm always willing to negotiate. I'll negotiate to say $150, $160. I keep getting these stupid offers like, give you $25. I got to put a new hard drive in it. I said, well, I know you do because I know it needs a hard drive, because I know, but I just don't want to do the work because I don't want to take it all apart. I said, sure. So I must have hundreds of messages from the stupid computer, people lowballing me constantly. So am I going to get frustrated? No. Am I just going to, I'll wait for the right offer. When someone gives me about $150, I'll sell it. They can put $50 into it, and they have a really decent computer. Is it upgradable? No. Does it work great? Yes. So, I mean, that's just part of the way it goes. I keep getting this constantly. I could tell you there's literally like 70 messages, the stupid computer, the same thing over and over. It drives me crazy, but that's just part of doing, like I said, part of doing business, and that's how that goes. So that's some of the BOLOs. So be on the lookout for those things. Keep your eyes open for kids' VHS tapes. Keep your eyes open for anything new. Most importantly, guys, be excited. Get motivated. Let me see. Here's now. I'm giving you live back and forth here. This is actually live. Is the price negotiable? I'll say, listen, I'm going to do it right now with you on the while we're doing this podcast. Sure. What are you thinking? Okay, so I just respond. Sure. I said, what are you thinking? So I said, is the price negotiable? It is negotiable. I'm not giving it away. Not yet. Maybe I will eventually. So he got right back to this is during Facebook Messenger. So this is the messaging system within Facebook. He says 120. If that's not a bad offer. Okay. 120 is not bad. I say, so I'm going to try to counter. I'm going to say, I can do 150. Oh no, let's change that wording. I'll meet you more in the middle. How about 150? That's not really in the middle, but it sounds good. Okay, let's make the dollar sign, make this 150. We're not too far off. I mean, so then this is how the game works. So I get all these messages. So he says 120. I said, I'll meet you more in the middle. How about 150? This is what I said. And let's see what he says. Now he'll probably say yes, no, and then maybe we'll make a deal. So this is live right now while I'm doing this podcast. And let's see what happens. So I can get a sale just like that. So this is something I've had since day one. This is a I think it's 2019 or maybe 19 or 18. I forget. It's not too old. Maybe 7, 8, 9 years old, right around there. It's still a good computer. I mean, it's got a great monitor. It works fine. It just needs a new hard drive. It has that Fusion drive, so the Fusion drive kind of died on it. And you can tell when those computers, when they die, they'll keep rebooting up and we keep rebooting up. Usually that's a hard drive because the hard drive can't engage, it can't load, so it just keeps trying to do it over and over and over. And that's usually a sign that the hard drive is junk. So my job, like I said before, I'm waiting for him to get back. So now there's radio silence. So maybe he doesn't want to pay $150. But I said, so maybe if he came back at $135, maybe I'd consider that. We'll have to see how this goes. If it doesn't get resolved now, I'll fill you in the next time we do a podcast. But you can see I put a lot of stuff on. All summertime's coming now. I have some lawn equipment, trimmers, leaf blowers. I keep my mind very open to a lot of different stuff because you just never know what cool things you're going to find. And you know what? It's just about that. It's about getting excited, getting motivated, getting inspired, and get yourself out there to find cool stuff to sell that you like. Okay, find stuff that you like. That's important too, because you don't want to buy stuff that you don't like. You want to be excited about things you like. I don't care if it's sneakers, Pokemon cards, junk, hubcaps, doesn't really matter. Automotive does really well on eBay. There's so many cool categories, guys. There's so much money to be made out there. I'm taking basically all this trash, I'm turning it into cash. That's pretty much what I'm doing at this point because there's just so much out there. People are cleaning out their houses every day. Every day. It's like, I don't want this anymore. They want the newest and the greatest thing. And you know what? Some people want the old stuff. The old stuff is really cool. So that's just what it is. So don't be discouraged. Don't be upset. Hope you're enjoying these podcasts. If you are, guys, follow me for more. Follow me on this platform that you're listening to me on. I don't care if it's Spotify. Please follow me on Spotify. If it's Apple, follow me on Apple. If you're on my Talking eBay YouTube channel, please go on there, subscribe to the channel, listen to these podcasts on there. It really does help me out. My goal here is to really help motivate you, help inform you, and help educate you to get you excited for your eBay journey or whatever that may be. And don't forget, if it ain't free, it's not for me. That's my motto for me right now. There's so much free stuff out there. Go on Facebook. Type in free stuff near me. Go on your Facebook right now, where you live right now. Type in, go to the, if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know how to do it, just go to Facebook, then you go to Marketplace. Go to Marketplace. Hit the Marketplace, and you'll type in free stuff near me. You'll be surprised how much stuff people are throwing out every day. Especially in the summertime. All the time. Oh, yeah, come on by. Free curb stuff, free curb buy. Come on by. The whole, I'm sure you've seen this, curb deals, free curb deal. They want to get rid of the stuff. They don't want to pay. A lot of times these cities now pay to dump the electronics and stuff like that. So they want to give it to you. Old VCRs, old electronics, old stereos, right? Old stereos do really, really well. Stereos from the 70s and 80s, they kill it. Kill it. Some of the stuff was very expensive. Even back in the day, they were expensive. So today you could even sell it for even decent money. Those old vintage electronics do really well. The old Techniques, the old Pioneers, just all that old tech, it just never dies because people are loving old tech record players. I mean, people just love that stuff. So don't be afraid. Get out there. Get excited, get motivated. Most importantly, sell. There we go. That's it. That's how we do it. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on eBay, Talking eBay on YouTube. Please do that. I really do appreciate that. Hope everyone enjoyed this podcast. If you did, let me know at talkingebay23@gmail.com. That's talkingebay23@gmail.com. Appreciate you listening. Make it a great day, and thanks for listening.